By Azriel ReShel, can these teachings be a sacred guide in troubled times? Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. Rumi, the ancient path of Sufism, or Tasawwuf as it is known in the Muslim world, is the inward dimension of Islam, essentially Islamic mysticism. Sufi practitioners seek to find the truth of divine love and knowledge through direct personal experience of the Beloved. It is a rapturous, deeply devoted and often arduous path, but one with enormous rewards. Sufism is the way to God via emotions and spirituality rather than through reason, and it celebrates the intimate relationship of the seeker with Allah. The ancient mystical teachings and practices of the Sufis have great relevance for seekers today, and can help you to deepen your spiritual practice or elevate it to a new level. The ancient teachings of Sufism celebrate an intimate relationship with the divine. Igniting the fervor. Some spiritual paths are very focused on the mind, with practices aimed to clear the mental state, tame thoughts and attain a calm equilibrium. These cooling, meditative practices bring equanimity, tranquility and clarity of mind. The mystical practices of Sufism are hot practices in that they are working with the heart, and igniting the fervor of passionate, wild love. Rumi, translator, and well-known spiritual teacher, scholar and mystic, Andrew Harvey, describes the Sufi path like this: it is a way to the heart of hearts, to the utmost direct intense experience of one's sacred identity. Here is some wisdom from this ecstatic and beautiful path. Sufism ignites the fervor of passion in the heart that connects us each to the other. Love lies at the core of the Sufi tradition. Love is the reason we are all here. Really, at its simplest, we are all on earth to learn about love. As we experience higher love and learn to open ourselves to giving and receiving love, it is said we see the face of God. We see the many faces of the divine in all we meet and in ourselves. Ultimately, we reach a stage where we do not see the many anymore, and instead, only see the one. The Sufis say that the reason of the whole creation is that the perfect being wished to know himself, and did so by awakening the love of his nature and creating out of it his object of love, which is beauty. Dervishes, with this meaning, salute each other by saying, Ishq Ma'bud Allah. God is love and God is the Beloved. Volume 5, Love, Human, and Divine, p. 144. Sufi mystics believe that a direct experience of God can be achieved through meditation. 1. Surrender to love. Sufis talk about annihilating themselves in the Beloved through the path of love. Dr. Javad Nurbanksh of the Ni'matullah Sufi order says, in one of his discourses, that human love can be classified into three basic categories. The first form of love is friendship based on social conventions where two people behave in accordance with the principle, I for myself, you for yourself. We love each other, but we have no expectations of each other. This form of love is that of ordinary people, whose love relationships tend to be of this nature. The second form of love is based on a more solid foundation, and those who live together usually experience this kind of love, I for you, you for me. We love each other, having mutual expectations of each other. This form of love includes profound love, as well as the love found within most families, and involves emotional give and take on more or less equal footing. Sufism speaks of three forms of human love with differing levels of expectations. The third kind of love transcends all conventions based on mutual expectations, being founded on the following principle: I am for you, you are for whoever you choose, I accept whatever you want without any expectations whatsoever. The Sufi responds with loving kindness towards those who harm him, for he sees everything in himself and himself in everything, and because of this it is said that the highest form of human love is Sufi love. Sufism asks for a surrendering of expectations to achieve a transcendental love. To chant the divine name. Many spiritual traditions include the chanting of the divine name as part of spiritual practice, for attaining divine qualities and purifying the mind. In the Hindu religion, the practice of chanting the 108 names of the divine is hailed by ancient scriptures as the best way to deal with challenging times. Hearts become tranquil through the remembrance of Allah. Quran 13:28 Mantra chanting helps to focus and develop the mind. The practice of chanting is said to transform a person's vibrations, energize their chakras, and raise their mind, body, and spirit to a higher state of consciousness. The sacred ceremonies of the Sufi involve ecstatic chanting and even ritual dance. Sufism takes this one step further, with more ecstatic chanting than most traditions, and also ritual dance. Devotees become absorbed in the rhythmic repetition of the name of God or His attributes. This remembrance of the divine fills your life with sacredness and keeps the focus on higher wisdom, away from the small-minded concerns of the self. Some beautiful Sufi mantras are, La ilaha illallah, and the mantra, God is love, lover and beloved, Ishq Allah Mahbub Lillah. Sufis practice dhikr, the devotional practice of the remembrance of God. It is performed by the repeated invocation of the names and attributes of God, and is based on the Quranic verse in which God says, "Remember me and I will remember you." It is practiced either individually or in groups. God is love, lover and beloved. Ishq is the word for this fervent devotion and love that the seeker has for the divine, and Sufis talk about becoming drunk on divine love. Let's block ads. Why?